Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are going to be doing a review, try-on style video of the new Urban Decay Born to Run palette. There is a little bit of a story about how I came across this palette. I don't want to go into that in this video. If you were interested in the background, how I came across this palette, why I purchased it, why it's so personal to me, all that good stuff, check out my Instagram page. I have my Instagram listed in the description box below. I will also list it somewhere on the bottom of the screen. You will see a photo of this packaging, and feel free to read the story underneath that if you were interested in finding out what really inspired me in purchasing this palette. So what I'm going to do is go over the packaging, we'll take a look at the shades, look at some swatches, and then we will go ahead and put them on the eyes and create a look. There are some beautiful shadows in this palette, and I really have no idea what look I'm going to do. Let's figure it out together. Let's jump into the video. I'll zoom you guys in, and we will get started. Alright, so here is what the packaging looks like of the Urban Decay Born to Run eyeshadow palette. I absolutely love this packaging. I think it's super sleek. I love the inspiration behind it, and I just love the name of the palette, Born to Run. Super inspired, and it just inspires me a ton. Here's what the back of the packaging looks like. You've got all of the shades, the shade names, a story behind the palette, and then of course all of the ingredients right there. Open the packaging up, if I can get it open. And then you will see this beautiful packaging here. This palette has probably some of the most unique packaging I've personally ever seen, or any palettes that I own. This is probably the most unique. Look at this packaging. It is so beautiful. I love the pictures. Again, I'm just totally inspired, and I see Santorini, Greece right there. And I'm just like, oh my God, I want to go to Greece so bad. You guys, that is my dream. So yeah, nonetheless, it just makes me feel super inspired, and I love it. On the side here, it says, "You're not lost, you're born to run," along the side of the palette here, which is amazing, and like raised letters. And the same thing on the back, more photos. So I feel like a lot of care and thought went into the packaging. Open it up, and you can see there is a giant mirror inside here, which is super cool, amazing. I love that. And then here are all of the shades in the palette. I will go ahead and insert a photo of some swatches here. There are 21 shades in this palette. This retails for $49. I purchased this at Ulta. If you are an Ultimate Rewards member at Ulta and you are a Platinum Rewards member, this past week or weekend, I believe, they sent out a 20% coupon that included prestige brands. So if you are that, take advantage of it if you're interested in this palette, because I did. And after tax, it was gonna be like $50 or $51, and I ended up paying, I think I got like 10 bucks off. So it was like $41 for this palette. So 41 bucks for 21 shades from Urban Decay, I would say is a pretty good deal. Typically their naked palettes, which have about 12 shades, I think, in them, 10 or 12 shades, those are usually $49 or something like that as well, usually the same price. So you're getting a lot more shadows in this palette. I have no idea what look we are going to create, you guys, because there are so many freaking beautiful shades in this palette. There's just, you could do anything really. You could create gorgeous sunset looks. You could do neutral eyes. You could do something more bright. You can do smoky, sultry looks. There's literally everything in here, and I love all the matte shades. So there are 6 matte shades here, and then you've got some metallics and a couple satin shades. So yeah, we can pretty much do everything, and I do think that there is enough in here for transition shades to lay down a base. It's all here. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off by taking my Morphe M433. I'm going to dip into this shade here, Weekender, and there's really not a lot of kick up at all, as you can see. Tap off the excess, and I'm just going to go ahead and start by sweeping that all over my eyes to get a base going. I primed my lids today with some Colourpop concealer, and then finish it off with the Colourpop No Filter Loose Powder, which I am obsessed with. If you guys haven't seen my review on the new Colourpop foundation, pressed powder, loose powder, all that stuff, check it out if you're interested. I will link that video down below. All right, so now that we have that down, I think this is where we got to decide, what are we going to go for? I think I really want to play with these purples and these pinks here. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip into the shade Still Shot with the same brush. Really no kick up there at all, as you can see. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it tight, but work that into the crease. That's blending out pretty effortlessly. I loved the shades in the Naked palette. I have briefly touched on this before. When I first purchased the original Naked palette, I was super impressed with the shade range and some of the shadows in there. Some of the metallics were super amazing, but mostly I really loved the matte shades in this palette, or in the Naked palette, I should say. However, I found that some of the metallics in there were not as pigmented as others. It was just kind of inconsistent for me. I know so many people loved the shit out of that palette. It's just after using it more and then trying other shadows, it just wasn't as impressive to me. But like I said, it's still near and dear to my heart. It holds a lot of meaning for me. So I still have mad love for it. So that shade blended out beautifully. That is a gorgeous kind of peachy, pinky tone. I love it. So now that we have that down, let's see, what should we go into next? I think I want to go ahead and deepen it up just a bit with the shade Hell Ride right here. I'm going to take kind of a smaller crease brush. I'm going to go in with the E38 from Sigma, dip into that just ever so slightly. Again, not much kick up at all. I love to show you guys that. I'm just going to kind of gently work that in, keep sticking to the outer part of the eye and working into the crease. I always feel like I look so crazy when I do eyeshadow tutorials for you guys because I have like my dark brows because I have dark hair. So when I fill in my brows, they're quite dark. And then my eyes just look so bare. There's no mascara and I just look like a crazy person. It's really funny. That's why I keep looking in the monitor, if you're wondering, because yeah, I feel like I look nuts. So these are blending out again really easily. The shade is not patchy, as you can see. It looks pretty true to color as what's in the pan. Super easy to blend. I'm not having any issues with that whatsoever. Just want to make sure both sides are even. Beautiful. Those are laying down gorgeously with very little effort. I am really pleased with how that is looking so far. So I love when I buy a palette and the shades are working because $49 for a palette, no matter how many colors you're getting, is still expensive. It's a pretty penny to lay down. So when the shades are blending and working, it's a win. I want to blend that out just a little bit more. I think I want a little heavy on this side. There we go. Perfect. All right. So let's go ahead and deepen out the outer corner even more. I'm going to take my Lamora blending brush. I'm going to dip back into Hell Red. I've talked about this brush on my channel before many, many times. This is my favorite brush for deepening my outer corners. I just love how it lays down shadow. It doesn't fluff everything out too much, and it allows me to really deepen the outer V of the eye. It's perfect for that. I'm gonna go in a couple times because I really want to smoke this out. I really want the outer V really deepened. Perfect. So we'll start with that. You guys, even if you want like a simple matte look, you could stop here. Look how beautiful this looks. Now let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and dip into the shade Guilt Trip right here. I'm gonna take a flat shader brush, pick some of that up. No fallout, no crumbles, no nothing. Just want to show you guys that. And I'm going to start here and bring it just to that dark part and see how this works without any Fix Plus or anything. This is a metallic shade, so we may need to get it more intense by spraying it, which I think we will, but that's how it looks dry. I'm going to pick up more of that shadow on this brush. It's a MAC Fix Plus. I'm going to try to look at a closer mirror here and get that on the eyes. Aha, there we are. Look at that. Woo! That is night and day. That is stunning. That is a beautiful purple shadow. I don't even think I need to go back in. I'm just going to use the other side of the brush and do my other eye. So I'm keeping this kind of on the center of the eye. So I'm going to use that Wild Heart shade down here and put that in the corners and then blend them all together at the end. So I'm bringing this shade just into the crease, almost like a halo eye, but not. Make sure everything looks even. There we go. That shadow is freaking stunning. Let's go ahead now and dip into the shade Wild Heart. I'm gonna go ahead and spray this one as well because, yeah, metallic shades, you just have to spray them. I'm gonna focus that right here on this inner corner. Gorgeous. I like to play with color on my channel because I like it if people are interested in this palette and they're not 100% sure what they want to do with the shades in here. They don't have ideas for the colors. I like to use as many of them on my eyes as possible and to create a colorful look so that you guys have an idea of some looks to come up with if you want something more colorful or if you're new to color. I think that's fun. This is such a cool look. I love it. This Wild Heart shade blended right into Guilt Trip. It looks super cool. I really, really love it. I'm gonna make sure I deepen out that outer corner even more with the shade Hell Ride. Just want to make sure I really get that outer corner really deepened. I don't want that to get lost in the mix. And then that will make it so that the other shade Guilt Trip gets blended in too, so it's not such a harsh line. Stunning. Super cool, super gorgeous. I love it. Let's have some fun with the lower lash line. What shade do I want to put down there? I almost want to put like a teal or like a blue. So I'm going to go in with this shade down here, Big Sky. Super gorgeous. I'm going to go in with that. I didn't even tell you guys what brush I was using for these metallic shades. This is from Delium Tools. This is a 773 shading blender brush. So I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to pick up the shade Big Sky, the blue shade, and try that out on the lower lash line and see how that works out. I love doing pops of color. I'm going to bring that right to about here. I don't want to bring it all the way to the edge. We're going to use a brighter color for that. I have plans for the lower part here and then the inner corner for highlighting. I'm really smoking that out and bringing it down. That's cool. I like this together. The blue with the purple is really unique. Then what I want to do is I want to deepen this outer part even more with the blue. I'm going to go into this really dark kind of navy metallic shade Radio and then put that just on the outer corners here on the lower lash line. That one has a bit of fallout, so be careful with that one. But since we're really deepening this out and really smoking it out, I'm not really worried about the fallout. But just be advised of that. Maybe spraying this shade first with some Fix Plus might help that as well. That is really gorgeous. So cool. Those blues are awesome together. All right, so I'm going to clean off that same brush and then I'm going to dip into the shade Blaze right here. This one's kind of like a duochrome shade. It's really cool. It's like a gold but has like a pink flip. This one I know I'm going to spray just because, and I'm going to use that on this inner corner portion on the lower lash line and just drag that right into the blue. It is a really cool shade. And then to really get into this part right here, I'm going to dip in back into, actually let's go into Breakaway. Let's really brighten the inner corner. Let's try it dry first. Nope, let's spray it. I'm not getting the full effect. I'm not happy with that. Let's just put this on the inner corner. Again, this is the shade Breakaway. There we go. You get a lot more out of it. So this is more of a satin shade. This is not going to be as stark metallic. Not really getting the brightness out of that I would hope. Let's go back into Blaze and put that on the inner corners. And then I'm going to take Blaze. I'm going to put that along the brow bone as well using this Lamora pencil brush. All right, there we go. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to hop off camera quick. I'm going to put on some mascara. I don't think I want to do any liner with this one because I don't want to take away from the shadows, and then I will be right back. All right, you guys, so there you have it. Here is the completed eye look. I think that this turned out absolutely stunning. A couple shades I do want to touch on that I was just a little bit underwhelmed with would have to be Breakaway and Blaze. I think that Blaze is more of a topper, so I can't really, well, I shouldn't say that I'm disappointed in it. I should just say that I think it's meant to be topped on top of other shadows, in my opinion, to kind of give more of a duochrome effect. But Breakaway was just really underwhelming. I tried to use Fix Plus, I tried it dry, as you could see, and it just didn't do much. So I feel like in this entire palette, I don't really know what your go-to would be to really highlight with, because these two shades, I feel like this one was just a little bit underwhelming and Blaze was just more of a topper shade. You could use this shade here, Stranded, and why not? Let's just try that to see how that looks if we highlight under the brow bone with. I mean, yeah, you could use that one. It's not as dark as it looks and it definitely does highlight. So you could use that instead. But overall, the shadows that I tried, which would be, which one do we have here? Hell Ride, Wild Heart, Guilt Trip, Big Sky, Radio, Still Shot, Weekender. I mean, we tried quite a few shades in here and they all worked beautifully. I am super impressed with the metallic shades. These two blue shades down here didn't take much. They're super pigmented, super beautiful. I am obsessed with these two shades down here especially. I really want to create a look using those. But overall, like I said, of the shades that I tried, the palette is stunning. So I really am confident that the rest of these shades are pretty much going to be just as good as the others that I actually used, that I was satisfied with. So overall, I'm gonna have to keep playing with it though, but first impressions, I am impressed with it. I think it's a beautiful palette. I love the shades and I can't wait to play more with it, create some more neutral looks. I think it's absolutely stunning. Leave me a comment down below what you think of this palette. Did you pick it up? What do you think of the look that I created? I went a little heavy on the blue on my under eyes, but I don't really care, and neither should you, because it's just makeup, and at the end of the day we can wash it off and there are no rules, and I still love the way that this look turned out. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you liked it, share it, and of course subscribe to my channel before you go. I have some giveaway details coming up here shortly. I have some big plans for my channel, so stick around for that. I love you guys so much, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!